Okay, so
7:03.
sorry, depends on where you
I
are,
said
right?
it's 7:03. I know, I'm just kidding.
Whew, all right, so Jude and I were trying to figure out what to name our next one because we're going to be doing more and more of these, and um, I don't think we'll ever run out of a name because there's always something to discuss. But I said, I told Judy, I said, you know what? People need to be aware of the stories that they tell in life because people will just talk throughout their day. And then the next day they'll be upset because something happened. But if they would stop and think, they spoke those words yesterday or the day before. So I guess the bottom line is, if I say the bottom line, we don't have to go through with the rest of it, do we? So the bottom line is, if you want something to change, if you want something to shift in your life, shift the way that you speak. Everything is energy. Everything. We're made of energy. Your words have energy, and everything is constantly moving. And so when you speak something, those words go out and they have power. It even if you don't believe in um, woohoo spiritual stuff, even in the Bible it says how much power our words have. Um, and so when you speak something, the universe catches up with with the vibrational meaning of those words and brings that into your life, whether it's wanted or not. Um, really? Okay. Um, sorry. The more the more that you say you want something, the more you won't have it. That doesn't make sense. Hang
Yes,
on.
Yes,
it
it
makes.
does.
Yep.
Okay, as long as you caught that. As
Got it.
long as as long as you say you want something, you will never have it because
Right.
you will always say that you want it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want something to change in life, look at the story that you're speaking. Look at the story that you're thinking because your thoughts have creative power as well. Um, wow. Okay. All right, Judy. Sorry, I've spoken enough.
And actually, what I'm hearing now, I'm hearing um, that be mindful that there's no space and time in the grand scheme of things. There's no space and time. So it could be something that you've actually said in your past, in your 20s, in your 30s, that's now catching up to you. If there's a vibration, if you put enough energy into something, um, if you put a lot of energy into something years ago, and now you are a vibration, if it's in your surroundings and you're a vibrational match to it, you may get what it was that you wanted then, or that you gave power to then, and it's just meeting up with you now. Okay, I know. Spirits are like, you just talked in a big circle. Okay, so an example. So say what? um, okay, maybe back in my, okay, let's go back. Like say somebody in their 20s, they want a good paying job, and it was like, oh, okay, a factory is a good paying job, for somebody who wouldn't pay off their cars and things like this. So you want that, you put all that energy into that, and it just didn't line up, and your energy matches up to it now when you're in your 50s, and then all of a sudden there's a good, decent factory paying job for you. So it's like you're when you energetically align to whatever your wanting was, whatever your desire, not wanting, whatever your desire was, whatever you put energy into it, at some point in your life, it can catch up to you at any point. Do you all follow me, or am I still talking in circles?
Nope, I follow you.
It sounded so perfectly clear in my head. I'm sorry that I have this human body and this voice box to use interpret what Spirit's telling me, but it was so profound when it dropped into me that it doesn't matter when and where you thought words. If you were unkind, you were attracting unkindness to you. If you were judgmental with someone, like say you went through a time where you just judged somebody on their cleanliness of their house, and that was it. If they didn't have a clean house, you wouldn't go. Well, what about when you're older and something happens where you can't take care of your house, and now your house is dirty, and then all of a sudden you're being around people who judge you for your dirty house? See how it comes back to you.
So you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
For I don't know why I keep going biblical. I mean, okay.
Go back to your root. So it's just the energy you put into your words. Doesn't matter where and when you said them. They will become in, I don't know, help me out, Randy.
No, everything that you are living is a direct reflection of the story that you are telling. The words you are speaking, thinking, and even your attitude. Your attitude towards something, you go to a store and you see a cashier being rude to another person, you think, that was rude of them. I want to be around more, pleasant people. Come on, baby girl. More pleasant people. But you were focusing on the person that was rude, and then all of a sudden you come across all these rude cashiers, and you're like, what's going on? It's all about your focus. It's all about the things that you give energy to.
What you give energy to, exactly.
Right. Yeah. What you give energy to. Judy, what we were talking about last night about wanting things to be different. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm having real trouble with my eyes tonight. Really, on purpose? Sorry. I don't even know what we were talking about other than just saying things and not thinking about the impact that they have. Talking about, I'm never going to be able to go there. I'm never going to be able to afford this. Gosh dang it, this hurts, or gosh dang it, they're always so mean to me. You're just going to continue to have more and more and more of those things. Start finding a different way to express the things that you desire instead of focusing on the things that you don't. But that's not even how we planned on starting. We wanted to start from being born.
That's where we wanted to start, but we got off little tangents here.
Wow.
Well, let's go back to where we want, because I'm sure it was said for a reason, but let's get back to the family and our siblings at the beginning when we were born.
Right. Families, friends, parents, siblings, culture, religion, environment, economic status, these all impact the core of your story. That begins the moment you are born into this physical world.
Right. And that creates our foundation. Okay. That is our foundation. Let's just take a moment with this, because we chose to come here at the time we did. We chose our parents. We chose our economic system, everything. We chose our culture. We chose that in order to expand our consciousness here on earth. Okay. So it's important. Okay. So it doesn't matter. Put judgment aside, whatever, however, wherever, whomever you were born to was purposely planned. It was purposely chosen that way. Okay. So that created your foundation for you to grow and expand consciousness. So it's not until our social environment, until people start judging and saying that maybe like, oh, she's poor, or, they don't have anything, or they're just drug addicts or alcoholics, or when people start judging, then it puts a
Right,
stain.
because when you're in it, you don't know that there's anything else
Mhm.
until someone impresses upon you their view, their opinion of it, is what it really boils down to.
Right. Right. But it's so important. Our foundation shouldn't be judged. We should just look at it again and accept it for what it is, and realize that we came here at that point in time and circumstance for a reason, and to start looking at it through a different perception, and just see what the gifts are that came out of
Because they've gotten you to where you are today,
mhm.
and made you who you are today. And you have to learn to be okay with that. Don't judge your past.
Right.
And if you can learn not to judge your past, you can take away the power that your past has on you for the current situation that you're trying to shift or change. You could blame a parent for you being the way that you are in life. But it's you that chooses. I think that once you realize that, wow, no, I'm not gonna say that.
I think once you realize that everything you've gone through in life got you to where you are today, it got you right here, wherever this could be your springboard into something bigger, right? Into your own spiritual path, or some big aha moment about yourself, getting to know your reasons why you're here and your purpose in life. But just to realize that if everything didn't happen, if I wouldn't have gotten in trouble when I was younger, if I wouldn't have done the things that I did when I was a teenager, if I didn't run around with this person or that person, I wouldn't be right here. I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be expanding my spiritual self as much as I am right now. God knows where I would be. So I'm grateful for everything that I've gone through. Sometimes I say, "Oh, I wish I wouldn't have done this," or "I wish this wouldn't have happened to me." Well, really? Then I wouldn't be who I am today. So take all judgment aside, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, it sounds bad in circumstances where there's abuse going on. It sounds horrible to think, oh, that you charted this. But everything is charted for a reason. And if you learn how to use it to your advantage and understand it, the key is to understand it without judgment, then it'll allow you to grow consciously.
Your soul arranges for the scene of your life to be set perfectly, no matter how imperfect it may look to those on the outside who influence their opinion upon you. Everything.
Exactly,
what, Mom?
I'm sorry. That's exactly how I feel. You can't go back. Has made you who you are today. And, if you keep a positive outlook about that, then you can only be made better, is what I believe.
I love it.
Instead of blaming everybody else for where you are and focusing on, look what so and so did to me. We know a few people like that, don't we, Ma?
Yes.
Well,
We do.
lady, right, that's where the shift happens. I mean, when you go from that to understanding you were here to learn, and then, and like you said, Judy, taking what you've learned from it and applying it in a positive way, which I wouldn't be one of the soul twins. I wouldn't be helping the people that I'm helping now if I wouldn't have had experience of all that. Trust me, when I was going through it, I didn't want to be there. I wanted to live in that, all the friends that I looked at, and they lived in those wealthy houses, and they were, to me, in my mind, I thought living the perfect dream, which not realizing they're going through their own lessons too. They weren't the same as mine, but they're going through their own as well. But you know, you always think that way. But you're right, ladies, when you make that shift, that's when the action happens. Yeah.
Right.
And that's when you take the power away of what of everything that happened.
Of the negativity of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Mhm. Yep.
And I think, I'm sorry.
No, you're up.
Hello?
Aunt Lissy, we're listening to you.
Oh, okay. He keeps flipping back and forth between speakers. Okay. Now, I hear what you're saying about the story. And of course, the story of where we've been is the story of our life. And as we know it so far, but if you realize that you are the author of your story, then your story will change as you want it to change.
As
And
you want it to change, yes.
right, just like
Right.
reading a good book, you don't want it to end. And has there been pain and has there been dishonor? Yes, there has. But the story keeps evolving because the character keeps evolving as we as humans keep evolving. And so we are writing our story, and we will continue to write our story. And the words matter. Yes, the words have texture. They have
Yes.
line and underline texture, and they radiate in different ways to different people. People who are colorblind see something different than people who are color gifted. I don't know what the word is. But you know,
I like that.
it's just that we can write our own story and do write our own story because we are thinking individuals. We are thinking beings. And we don't have to stay in the past. We don't have to look through that rear view mirror to watch where we've been. We want to see where we're going because that's where the story is going.
That's right.
Right.
That's
And it
right.
shouldn't be- And we shouldn't make judgment calls just because it's socially accepted. And what's it socially accepted? We shouldn't do that at all because we're here to experience. If it helps, because we all say we're here to learn. We're here to learn. But if, like for me, honestly, it's experience. I'm here to experience. That takes the judgment out of it for me. Because if I'm here to learn, then there's right and wrong. There's 100%. There's 50%. You know, there's a mark that goes along with learning.
And you're learning on the foundation. You're learning off the foundation of the things that happen to you that you're trying to shift from.
Right.
You know, we talked
And as
about
an-
we talked about the foundation of like the child who's born to what would you say, a drug addict who has an absent father and struggles in life. You know, they go through their life and that's their foundation.
Right.
And to everybody around them, that foundation is shaky, but to them it's life. It's what has sustained them to get them to where they are right now. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it better.
Right. That's what they choose. They chose to come into.
Yeah.
They chose to come into that time, space, period for a reason because they wanted to experience that. Perhaps, you know, we may never know the reasons why, but maybe
We
they're
will.
there to actually elevate the vibration in that space. You know, we can't judge anyone
Right.
for the situations they're in
Right.
because it's
Whether
all important.
whether it's socially accepted or not, it's still my foundation.
Right, right.
It's still your foundation.
So if we just, or like for me, it helps to say experience, not learn,
Yes.
because it takes the judgment out. Does anybody else find that too? Like it's easier to accept an experience than it is to learn. Learn feels heavy. Learn feels like, oh, I got so much to do. But if you're here to experience, you can freely experience and grow. I don't know. For me, it feels good.
I agree.
I agree with that, but I don't agree with that you choose to be born into something. I don't believe that. I believe that God creates us. And the environment that you're put into doesn't matter. I mean, it's not what you choose. You don't choose to be born to alcoholics and drug addicts and be a drug baby. You don't choose to do that. You know, that is the physical. That is not what I call this, the higher spiritual or maybe realm is what I'm thinking. But, you know, that's the physical, and that's what happens in life. And if that's what you're born into, then you make the best of that situation. But if you can't, then you try to focus on the positive and get yourself out of that situation and experience other situations to learn by. I don't think that we choose to be born into a specific
Well, that's a whole nother session of soul contracts and spiritual, not
There you go.
level.
I'm just saying
What's
that
the word I'm
I
thinking of?
agree with everything Judy's saying, other than that one point.
Oh, no, I got you, Mom. I'm just saying there's no way we could go into soul contracts right now.
May I respond to that?
Yes, please.
There's a lot of noise.
Got it.
My feelings are, I agree with part of what she said. The other part is, as a soul, I wanted to learn certain things. Now, yes, maybe God put me into this situation so that I could learn those things. Maybe I didn't choose my parents, but I chose the lessons I wanted to learn before I got here. The development.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree, Amy. I think if you don't mind, I'd like to point out one of the things that I learned, I think one of the things that helped me open my mind up to this anyways, is the story about the bus stop. I think that both
Yes.
you ladies,
Yes. Tell it.
I mean, it just really helped me. There's some really hard lessons that some people are here to, they're going through. And how could you even think that you would choose that? I mean, some of them are awful. I mean, we hear the stories. Hi, Peanut. You want to come say hi to the ladies really quick? Come on. My Sickie wants to say hi. Then you
Oh.
talking. All right, come here. Oh, tell everybody hi.
Hi.
Hi. Get to feeling better.
All right. Can you close the door, please, Peanut? Please. Thank you. But anyhow, so it's Sue Morter, I think, is the author, and she wrote a book. It's called The Energetic Codes. Love the book. She explains a lot because we are all energy, and we are higher energetic beings. That, yes, you're right, Sue. God created us, and everything. And for us to evolve, to go to the next level, if you will, I think it's easier for a human to understand it that way. And that we need to evolve and understand. So we come here to learn. And the way that she explained it, to try to help us kind of wrap our heads around it, is just imagine if you're at a bus stop and someone comes over to you and goes, "Where are you going?" "Well, I'm going to go to planet Earth." "Oh, really? What are you going there for?" "Well, I wanted to learn about forgiveness. I thought that'll help me understand a little bit more, and then I can evolve to the next level, if you will." "Well, how are you going to do that?" And she said something about, well, if I guess someone that I loved that unfortunately was in a car accident. So I think she said like my brother or something like that. And she said, I guess maybe by a drunk driver, and I have to learn to forgive that person, you know. If the guy turns around, he goes like, well, I wanted to go to Earth and I wanted to just kind of experience what it was like to be there, but I don't want to be there that long because I don't want to pick up karma, you know. I'll be your brother, you know. Oh, okay, cool, great. Now we need to find the driver. So then they find someone who's the driver who says, well, I wanted to learn about forgiveness, but I'm not sure if I really want to learn that way. That one's a tough one. But I guess if I had to forgive someone, I guess the hardest one would be to forgive myself. So to learn that, then yeah, you know what? I'll be the driver. So they don't realize until you're here, once the veil goes up, you don't have all this knowledge you have sitting there while you're at the bus stop, for crying out loud. And you come here and it's like, bam, you know, and you don't understand all this. And the whole thing is, it's not like, sometimes we might say it's kind of like, I don't want to say a sick game because it's not, but it is all about learning and evolving. That's what we're here to do because we are energetic bodies. And so for us to do that, we have to go through these things, exactly what all of you ladies were saying, every single one of you. There's nobody on here that was wrong at all. And,
That's right.
And even whether you believe that you came here with that, you know, that you chose that or not, it doesn't matter because first off, I always like to put that nobody's ever wrong. We are all learning together. But I just thought that made me, at least it helped me to try to look at that person who did, let's say, the drunk driver and not judge them. And let me tell you, I have a sister-in-law who amazes me. My brother was killed in a car accident, and and then his son was actually murdered. My nephew was, and point blank, right in the face. And my sister-in-law, her only child, my sister-in-law, all she prays is for God, that he finds God, and that, you know, and that he can learn from his lesson. And she just pushes love to him all the time. I'm like,
Wow.
my God. I mean, her sitting at the bus stop, trust me, she didn't forget anything. That girl, it amazes me. She doesn't have a judgmental bone in her body when it comes to him. She understands how important it is for us to love other people and forgiveness. You know, it doesn't mean that she doesn't miss her son, doesn't mean that she doesn't wish he was here, you know, and everything else. But all she's doing is focusing on him. And I want to share a story with you guys real quick while I just have the limelight right now. I didn't tell anybody else about this, but I just feel like this would be a good story. So anyhow, here, his name is like, I don't know, I can't even remember his name, Tramal or something. Let's just say that the guy who killed him. All right, and he's in jail. He's in jail from 30 to 60 years is what he got. But anyhow, all she keeps praying is that someday he'll call her. And she keeps praying that over and over to God, over and over to God. She wants to talk to him. She wants to let him know, I forgive you, you know, and everything. And that's all she prays. Her faith is strong. Her phone rings. God's honest truth. Her phone rings one day, and it's a collect call from jail from Tramal. She's like, oh my God, here's the call. Everything else she answers, yes, I'll take the call. Wrong Tramal, wrong jail. What are the odds?
What?
No.
Right? She got on social media and she was crying and she was so upset because she's like, you know, how long is this going to take? Because then she starts getting a little impatient. I said to her, I said, do you realize the odds of a Tramal from jail calling you collect? And I said, and it not being him, I said, don't you think maybe that was God's way of saying, I hear you. Tramal's not ready yet, but I hear you.
Yes.
Don't lose that faith. Isn't that awesome?
That's what I was thinking. Yes. Yes.
Chills. That's amazing.
I do too. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what it's all about, is once you understand that everybody is here to learn something, and exactly, you guys, thank you for the message tonight, because what you think, what you say, you manifest. Whether it be now or whether it was then or whatever, just what you're saying. So I think this is perfect. I love it. I love it, and I love being a part of it, and I appreciate you letting me be here and listening, and
No, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. You have so much.
I love the bus stop story. Thank you.
I do too. It fit perfectly here.
I'll
Loved
tell you,
it.
it helps me to understand it at least a little bit better, because there's some pretty awful, awful things that people do out in this world.
Mhm.
And I look at them now and I think, oh man, that's not one I want. Mm-mm.
Oh, go ahead, Sue.
Oh, I was just coughing. I'm sorry.
Okay, my thought was with that awesome story, but my thought was with our stories continuing, and those of you who actually have the talent for spirit connections, the stories that spirits have in the after physical life, it's got to be staggering, and that is what I would love sometime to see. I know that, Mandy, you have told me that once the transition has passed, okay, we're here to learn lessons, and we choose those lessons we want to learn, and we experience those things. But can you imagine how awesome the stories of a person who has gone beyond physical would be? It just blows my mind to think about it. And I have never looked at it in that way. And I was just sitting here thinking about that. And it's just so amazing what we learn here on earth. But God, what we would learn in eternity. Ooh.
Whew. Wow. This is awesome, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's important because unfortunately a lot of people don't understand this. And by you ladies that, and that maybe don't connect with spirit, but just that you're learning and you're evolving yourself. And just to be here at this moment is just so exciting. I mean, just so exciting. I feel truly blessed with anybody that I am able to sit like this with. I feel very, very blessed that I can sit here and be a part of this. It's just so exciting. I am.
Yeah, this is so amazing to be part of a group.
Well, and
Yeah.
and I had this conversation with someone earlier today, is that it blew my mind, and it makes so much sense, is when you realize that we all reincarnate together. We keep coming back to learn those lessons, and especially to clear our karma. But and so everybody sitting right here right now, I see 4 screens up. I know I've had lives with each and every one of you before, and I don't know what roles they played, and that. And then of course I shared my embarrassing story whenever I stared at that one girl in the restaurant for so long, because I know I knew her, that she actually got up and asked her boyfriend to switch seats with her. That was so embarrassing. I know I knew her. I just didn't know how and I just couldn't help it. Like when you feel like someone's staring at you, so you stare at them, but then they're staring at you because you were staring at them.
Right,
That's
right.
what happened.
Yeah.
And finally, she's just like, oh my God, this weird lady's watching me. Switch seats with me.
Creeper.
I know, right? I swear I'm not. Oh,
Whew. Man. Judy, were you going to say something?
Now, where are we going to take this next? We can start talking about how we can
Take steps. Yeah.
step to
Before you can take steps to rewrite your story, you need to learn to understand your story. But that does not mean to continue speaking it.
right. So all those things that you want to steer away from, all the things you do not really like in your life, that are for you not happening the way they should in your for you. First you have to understand it. That's the first step you need to do is
But don't judge it.
don't judge it, right?
And be
Don't
gentle with yourself
Mhm.
and loving with yourself above all.
Right. But you can't keep, you can't go back, right? Like Mandy's saying, you can't go back and keep talking about it. Like I was born with an alcoholic father, and because of it, telling this whole story over and over again, it's not going to help me. what's that going to do? It's just going to attract more alcoholism into my life in some way, shape, or form. You know, I have to get away from playing victim. And how has that helped me? How, you know, I have to understand it, where they're coming from, that maybe the alcoholism, you know, that's a disease, or, you know, whatever it is. And we all have, there's so many versions of stories. It's impossible to even group them together because we're so
But-
individualized.
Right,
But
and everyone is different. I know a family where two sisters grew up together, okay, and one sister is continued to tell the story of her past, and
yeah.
it has caused division between the family, and the other sister has accepted the past for what it was, realized it's made her who she is now, and moving forward with her own life. And sorry,
Can't even hear her.
but it's just Molly's just sitting here whining this whole time. But as you were speaking that, it was brought to mind about the family, that the two sisters growing up in the same household, going through the same things, but yet one continues to live in that story, not just speak it, but continue to live it, and has allowed her past to affect her present and her future. And she has no connection to that family now because she's still stuck living that past.
Right.
It's, yeah.
Continue and give it energy.
Yeah.
And even though that's the thing that she's trying to get away from, ultimately, it's going to keep following her.
That's right.
The same thing with all of us.
Right.
I think one of the biggest things for me was writing that book, you know,
Yeah.
and that having to go through the process of thinking about everything all over again and trying to change the way that I looked at it as I kept going through it. It wasn't nice, trust me. For Julie or I, we were going through that and writing, and it was bringing up ugly things. And then when we would talk and we would cry and we would laugh and then try to revisit and then try to learn, what are we here to learn about this? What's this trying to tell us, you know, and everything like that. It was a whole process. It really, truly did help us, you know,
Right.
and that catapult us to where, you know, to where we are. Not that we haven't learned everything. My God, we have so much more to learn. And hence why I'm here. But it helps just starting that process. And it sounds to me like that girl you gave us as an example just now is, unfortunately, she hasn't started that process, and the other one fortunately has. So, and not everybody learns at the same time. I mean,
But
don't.
it's hard on the family, you know. The mother hasn't spoken with that daughter in 2 years.
I know, and you always hope and pray that they'll get it right before the time is done.
Right.
But look, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to
Yes.
be for a reason. You don't
I
know
bet
where
it
they're
is.
going to end up.
It is, but
So that
still.
we need to just not judge and see,
Right.
accept it for what it is. The only thing we can be, you know, the only responsibility we have is for our own self, our own story. And if you want to, like, for me, I think if I want my story to change, I want to look back and understand it. Mandy and I were talking about this last night, like just starting back from when we were born, okay? Because that's where our foundation was first created, when we were born. So the foundation then, to understand it, so if we sit and just like you wrote the book, we sit and journal with this, and take a couple, a little bit of time and sit with that, like where you were born, who you were born into, the family, your environment, write all that down, and then see if anything comes to you, like why would your soul choose to come, why would your soul choose to come at that time to learn that? Even if you feel like you didn't choose your parents or whatever, however you want to view it, that's fine, because everybody's right. Nobody has all the
Right.
answers.
But you could say, why did I go through this? You don't have to say, why did I choose to, if you don't,
Yes,
you know,
right. Put it in the words that you feel comfortable
right.
with. I'm
You
using words
understand?
that I
Yeah,
feel
right.
comfortable with.
Right.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's really important because, we have to have a sturdy foundation to go forward, so we're not so shaky, and to build that security and confidence that I so want, So we were talking about going back and revisiting those first few years of our lives and how it shaped us, how it built our foundation. And even if it looked shaky from the outside, try to look at it through a new pair of eyes and see how it actually was secure for you. Okay? So if I look back on my family dynamic right now through a new set of eyes, and I could see like, oh, okay, this was my firm ground. This was my foundation, and I accept it for being firm foundation and allowing me to have all these experiences. Oh my gosh, we've all experienced so much in our lifetimes, So, but being allowed to have that foundation
Right.
to grow upon, and to accept that and to understand it.
When you start to write it out, you'll be surprised the clarity that you
Yeah.
will suddenly have, and the power that you will take away from certain events that happen to you that just seem to sear you to your core.
Right. Because it's going to pull all the negativity out, all the judgments, all the comments that were made to you, all the stabs, and all that's going to be taken out of it, and you're going to see it for what it really is. I think this is this is like reclaiming your power to who
And this
you
is
truly
perfect.
are.
Yep, this is the perfect time to do it. So thank you, ladies, coming forward with that message, because that's important. It's really important. And, and for me, it's come up and I thought I cleared things. And then all of a sudden it's like,
Nope.
coming back.
Exactly. Yes.
It's like getting slapped on the backside of the head. Yeah.
The more you clear, the more you get, right? Because you just, okay, this block is gone, now more is coming through. God's not going to give us more than we can handle, so we handle little bits at a time. Just like I thought, okay, I've risen up above a little bit more, I've raised my vibration some more, I'm becoming more enlightened, and then boom, some things were cleared for me, and it brought on more.
Things that need to be, that's all. And that's what it's all about. And this is the perfect time to be doing that, because what's coming up with 2020 is huge. It really, really is. So I think you guys are right. I think, and that's not something we really talk about, I know, on ours, but I think it's something that needs to be talked about, is about your foundation. Because when, and you're looking at it a different way than however I looked at it, because I'm just thinking of my child self, and but that child self is my foundation in this lifetime.
Yes.
So and go back, and you're right, because by going through the things and going through that process, just like you're saying, Judy, going back and looking at that is what really did help me to see it in a different way. And then I'm like, I get it now. Before I was like, you did this, you did that. You know what I mean? How dare you? Why should I have to be the one that went through? And then I started owning it and I started understanding it, and it just took me to a whole different level. And like I said, when I thought I cleared it, then it came back again, and then there was just more to clear. And the more you go through it and the clearer it gets, just the more it's a little bit easier to be a happy person and less judgmental person to other people, I think.
Yes.
So you're
Well said.
Yes.
perfect.
And it's enabling you to truly understand what you already know.
Yeah.
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 Well, I've got to interject here.
Please do.
Okay. Sue, my sister and I Sue and myself are sisters, and as
No.
Mandy, no, as you know, Mandy, we went what, Sue, 20 years avoiding each other or whatever. I don't know, 20 maybe more years.
Wow.
And then we came together and we let go of so much of that. And now we're living our golden years together. And I am pleased to add to the
Awesome.
story that in the last week or 2 weeks or whatever, Sue and I have had the most incredible time. We have had those belly laughs that you were talking about, man, and we laughed until all the tears were out of our head. It was just, and it continues to grow. And the other good thing is that she and I both shunned our brother for judgmental reasons, but about 4 to 5 years before he died, we came together and those memories,
And had the best times of your life.
the best
Yes,
times.
yes, we did.
And it was like we were kids again, doing things, even singing old 50s, 60s songs, singing them out on the porch as if we had a voice, or we were America's New Talent or something. But, it's something we did when we were young, and it was very pleasurable. And so I am pleased that our story progressed to that point, and I know it will go beyond. I know that. As a matter of fact, with my brother, Mandy, thank you. You helped. You helped tremendously after he transitioned.
It was George. It wasn't me. I was just a vessel.
But that's an example, I think, of how your story can continue to change. Again, you make it happen. You are the author. You say the words. You feel the words. And it goes. It just goes. It just comes. And yes, you have to let go of all that baggage, without a doubt. And you have to let go of all that judgment. That just is just a societal wrong, this whole judging thing. Even poor Trump, I'm worried about him crying over being impeached. Well, he got judged. And we all get judged. And I don't even want to get off on that, but I thank you for opening up these avenues of thought.
And if you don't like your chapter, rewrite it.
Write it.
It's
Or
your
just go
chapter.
to the next one.
No, rewrite it.
I say go to the next one, and the one behind you'll catch up with you, and all good things will come.
Amy, do you want to add anything?
No, I'm good. I'm listening and absorbing everything that's being said. Some good points. Even rewriting the past, technically, it's not rewriting it. I'm not changing it.
Right.
But going back to certain situations, I'm viewing it differently and rewriting that chapter of my past with the eyes that I have now. In other words, I can look at the bad side or the good side. So I've been doing that for the last year or two, is
Right.
different situations in the past that weren't fun. But now that I've gotten way past it, I'm actually rewriting that chapter. Everything exactly happens the same. It's just my view. It's
Right.
what I'm taking away from it now. Instead of holding on to the victim or the hate for other people and why you did this. And it's like, okay, now I just center it around a whole different perspective. It's tough because like everybody here, that story was horrible.
Yeah. Right.
But everybody's was. I mean,
Yeah.
some more so than others, but it was, again, it's great because I'm so much happier. the lessons are learned, and nobody can do for me what I'm doing for me. I
Exactly.
guess. I mean, I don't know how.
Right.
Not in a selfish manner, of course, but I'm just really happy with where I'm going, and like you said, things kick up, or somebody said it. Just when you think you got through all that,
Yeah.
Debbie, just in something else will come up, and all of a sudden you're facing something else. I don't think that'll ever stop. You know?
No.
If
I
it
don't think
does,
it's
then
meant to
you're
stop.
stopped living. Hello. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever, it's going to continue. It's just that we learn how to manage these things differently,
Yeah. And
learning new tools to
Amy,
work
you're
with.
finally taking care of. You're finally starting to take time to take care of yourself instead
Yay.
of everyone
Yeah.
else around you.
And I
And
don't
I
think
tell
that
ya,
I don't think that's selfish at all.
Not
No.
at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
well, it creates a challenge because what people are used to seeing around me aren't seeing what they used to see. So it's time for me. I'm sorry. If that means you have to go in a different direction, well, all my best.
If
I
you
love you, but
you can't do it for them either later down the road. You have
no,
Right.
yourself first.
no. It's sad. I mean, that was probably the hardest part of this whole. I call it an awakening, but I woke up about 2 years ago, and I watched somebody die in my home. I took care of her I watched her die from the onset of and from the moment she passed away, I realized what's really important in life. What people around me were saying, you should be doing this and that and all these other things after she died. I'm like, you guys don't have a clue. You don't have a clue what's important in life. I'm living life for Amy now. I see what I've been missing, what I've deprived myself of. Let me put it that way. I now see what I deprived myself of for, I'm 57, 55 years.
But
I'm
had
done.
you not gone through that process, you would not have this understanding now.
That's right.
Well,
And-
it might have come way later. I'm just glad it came.
Yeah.
And,
I
and,
understand.
Christine said it's healthy to take care of yourself. It is. I mean, and it is selfish, but it's self-care. It's self-love. It's finally realizing that you are worthy, and it's learning how to love yourself and always come from a place of love to everyone around you and every situation around you
Well said.
instead of judgment.
Tina, I wish we could talk to you. Oh.
What she-
Acceptance and letting go and owning yourself, your stuff. Learn to let go and forgive.
Read that
Christine.
again. Read that again. What did Christine say?
It's healthy to take care of yourself. Acceptance and letting go and owning your stuff. Learn, let go, and forgive. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So freeing.
It is freeing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Mm. Wow. I just got lost in my own thought there.
All right, ladies, this has been another wonderful evening. Thank you guys for taking time to come do this and be with us and share of yourselves, because it's not just us talking. You guys are opening yourselves up as well.
Thank you, ladies, for the
I mean,
message.
we're all supporting.
Thank you.
We all work, all of us talking, chatting together. We're all weaving this web, together. And
True.
we're helping each other build our foundations. It's remarkable how this all works. It really
I love-
is.
You guys wouldn't come on and do this, this wouldn't be happening. So this is perfect. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I have to agree.
Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Our foundations, that's it. Our foundations, we really need to strengthen them, you know, to end this up. So it's like, if you want homework, grab a journal, sit down with a cup of tea,
Or
and go back to
coffee,
the
Aunt
day you were
Lissy.
born,
Coffee.
whatever, and yeah, sit down and just think about that, and value it for what it is. That
Find your
foundation.
value. Find your value in the words that you write.
Yeah.
You're
Rewording
gonna-
that foundation.
For sure. For sure.
Mm.
All right, everyone. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Christine, next time I want to see you on here. We have to get you a camera.
Well, you're gonna have to get with her and and show her. So.
Can I say something to Amy quickly?
Absolutely.
Amy, what I get from what you're saying is that you have finally come out of a fog, and I think that is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mandy, you know that I wrote here recently about coming out of that fog, and oh, Amy, it's a wonderful feeling, and your eyes are open, and you're so much brighter and chipperier, whatever that word is, tonight. And I see that you have progressed since the last time that I met you on here. Oh, that's wonderful, and I'm sorry, I just had to say that. I'm so happy.
Y'all are so awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, I'm gonna when I get this uploaded, I'll send it to everybody. I'll send everybody a link and they can watch it on YouTube. It's not published for everybody. It's only to those that I give the link to. So don't be worried about Uncle Matt seeing you guys on YouTube or something. So. All right.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We love you guys. Y'all have a great holiday. Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
family and
Thank you all. This one's
keep-
been
keep
as good. I
present.
think this one's been better than the
Bye-bye.
last one. And
well, we'll get better. We'll get better each time.
Better.
Amy and Judy and Soul Twin. I didn't get your first name.
That's Debbie.
Debbie.
Debbie. Okay. I want to wish y'all a Merry Christmas
Merry Christmas.
because I don't suppose we'll be back on before Christmas. Of course, I'll see you, Miss Mandy.
Yeah. I'll
Few
see you
days.
Saturday morning. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but we'll be back.
Yes, we will. All right, guys. Y'all take care.
See you, ladies. Love to all.
Bye.
Bye.